Okay, welcome back. This is Big Benedict. We're playing God of War 2 on Titan mode. Here we are introduced to the Harpies here, and these guys are going to be pretty problematic throughout this stage. All you need to do basically is just kill them. You can jump and grab them if they're moving around. That leaves you kind of vulnerable. So I would just stay on the ground and wait for them to come. When they try to dive down on you, they'll, like, their bodies will glow a certain red color like that, like kind of did right there. You'll see it. They do it every single time. That is when you're supposed to press the button to parry, but we don't have the ability to parry yet. All we can do is block, and it does a kind of like a kind of a pseudo parry, if you will, when it does it. But it's not you don't parry. It's going to be a while till we get that actual move. So all you need to do on those guys essentially is just keep blocking and use the game's excellent grab detection to allow Kratos to just grab the Harpies. This game has really great grab detection. So right there, Gaia warned us that we can't free the Pegasus because we can't move the giant's thumb, but we just moved his fingers. I don't know if his thumb is more powerful than his fingers. Probably, I don't know. Maybe. So this is a difficult part, and I'm just resorting here to the same method I used in the Hades arms section, where I was grabbing those arms with just simple grabs, and it works here. Now, when they get you, like in this point, that's not a failure on your part, because it's hard not to get attacked by them and get into this animation here. The great thing about this is if you just move the left analog stick left and right real quickly, like it's instructing you to, you take 0 damage. So it's really nice. I mean, they could have damaged you a little bit, but they it's a nice move. That so a few hits by these guys and you're dead. I think it's about like 4 hits, 4 direct hits from these guys will probably kill you. And I think I'm beeping by the end of this, that heartbeat sound. It's kind of annoying, actually, when I think about it. But you're going to be hearing that heartbeat sound a lot in this game because this is not easy mode. This is a very difficult mode. And up here, I stick close to this wall in the back here, just so there's no way that the grab detection can fail. So anything that I do over here is just going to be a failure on my part. So I stick to anything. So I just like to have at least one direction so that the enemies can't get me, and so that they just can't surround me and just overtake me. Also, back to that heart beating sound and the being on the verge of death. I was also thinking, like, a lot of people ask me sometimes, like, what's the hardest God of War? Is this one the hardest, or is God of War 1 the hardest, or what is it? In my opinion, God of War 3 is the easiest by far on Chaos difficulty, and overall I would say God of War 1 is hard, but just because it has an extremely difficult final challenge. If you're ever doing the clone battles, it's like a legendary difficulty setting, and I've beaten the game once on God mode, and that in God of War 1, and so it's just there's a lot of difficult stuff in that game, and I'll be talking about it a little bit more after I discuss these Minotaurs here, or Centaurs, whatever. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but a lot of the times you'll get a very powerful enemy, and then you'll have clustered with the powerful enemy, you'll have weaklings like those birds, but they are weak, but they're going to distract you and cause you to just be moving around to grab them a lot, and at the same time the stronger enemy is going to be, so like this is being on the verge of death here, so you're just going to have to get used to that, because although I am I'm a very good God of War player, but it's all part of the game, being on the verge of death, and healing yourself, doing these quick time events. These guys always yield health. It's the same deal from the first game. You kill those guys, you get your health back. Not all the way, of course. And these chests here, they give you less on Titan mode too. They give us a full match here, or refill here, just because we have a little bit of health only. That's it. So check out this treasure chest. Let's see if it gives me any money. No, it gave me absolutely nothing for money. That happened on my other run where I did Titan mode too, and I thought the reason that was giving me no money was because I had grinded for money so much on the Hades arm. So now, since I didn't do that here, I have an opportunity to test what is happening, and it's clearly a glitch, a programming error, or either that, or it's the way it's supposed to work. It doesn't seem like it would be the way it was supposed to work. I mean, you open a treasure chest with orbs in it, you should get the fucking orbs, and it's just going to happen a lot in this guide. And I'm going to be hitting the square button just to see my counter right before the orbs go into me, so to speak. And it's just it sucks. I know you get fewer orbs in this Titan mode, but at least the fewer that you're going to get, at least they should add to your counter, you know. So out here, I would take care of those archers on the two wooden platforms first, and then using the archers for projectiles is really good because. And normally more than one centaur spawns there, or minotaur, but this time I only got one. It varies. I think it depends on how quickly you kill these archers. But when you're flinging them around, it deals more damage than your fucking bow, so it's really crazy. But this game here, this game that we're dealing with here, this is a boss-heavy game. In God of War 1, there was not very many bosses, and it was kind of a complaint from a lot of people. But since I'm not really good at bosses, I'm not the best at them, and it's not my strong suit, I kind of like that factor. But when I got to the final forms of Ares, I was struggling for hours on end trying to beat that shit. But I would say that... is God of War 1 harder or is God of War 2? That's a good question. I really don't have the answer for that, except to say that they're both extremely difficult. I will say that the final bosses in this game are much easier than fighting Ares in God of War 1. I no longer want gods. It just seems that way to me. I mean, I wasn't struggling nearly as much as I did on those. Man, I was crying after I beat those clones. I wasn't crying when I beat Zeus here in this game, but it was still pretty damn hard. But this game, to me, it has a lot of extremely difficult parts in it, the way God of War 1 doesn't. So, like a lot of the parts, they'll come early on in this game, starting with Thesis, and there's just every time I point them out. Protecting the translator, that's another part. There's a huge-ass dogfight near the end of the game that's really tough. And then the Loom Chamber just surpasses everything in difficulty, in my opinion. So I really, as far as difficulty-wise, I would say that, anyone who could beat this game in God of War 1 is a really good player, in my opinion. And God of War 3 on Chaos Mode, it's hard once you're first doing it, but it just gets really easier. It's just I don't know. It's a shorter game for sure. This is probably the longest God of War game that exists, and I like it for that fact. It just it's a quest. It's a true quest. So this is Prometheus here, and once this cutscene is over, all you need to do is just hit him a few times to the point where he's going to be dangling over the fire, and then we're going to come back later with the bow and shoot him down into the fire. And I'll be getting every treasure chest in this game, as well as in this stage too, because there's a couple tricky treasure chests that people might not know how to get. So I'll be getting everything, and yeah, because you need every single advantage here. It's kind of difficult to get in there, but just slide on down this chain here. There's a slight edit there. Normally don't point out my edits, but I seem to be remembering them vividly these days. So you're gonna get a cutscene over here, and you can actually go up the mountain a little bit of the way to get some health if you need it, but I wouldn't worry about it. Just head on over here. There's going to be some more undead soldiers to deal with over here, and then the save point. So these undead soldiers, I think grabbing them is the best, because you saw I did a power hit right there, and it just left me too vulnerable for too long. So just slide on down the rock face. There's a couple guys just waiting for your arrival here. You see that move I did right there? That's kind of the parry, the pseudo parry that I was talking about. It doesn't really parry. It's just kind of the animation that precedes what the parry turns out to be when we get it. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to the parry. So head back and save it.